everyone, welcome. If I sound like a zombie today, it is likely because I feel like one. It is 38 degrees Celsius and I've worked until nearly 2 a.m. this morning and was up again by 7:30. But, that too shall pass. Okay, I'm going to follow yesterday's trajectory and we are going to touch on a number of different subjects. First, and obviously, we have to talk about the German state visit. And what shall we say but chant, William, William, Catherine, Catherine. The monarchy cannot be all bad because God blessed them with Catherine. Look, I may be totally bored with Catherine's coat dresses, but she looked so perfect. Not a hair out of place, not a single crease in her clothing, a perfect fit, the perfect colour on her, and I just love her hair blow-dried the way it was, smooth and shiny. Well, I thought she looked perfect greeting the German couple. But then William and Catherine arrived at the banquet, and what a moment! And I must be honest, for a moment, I thought it was AI. And I'm not joking. When I saw the first photograph, I thought it was AI. I mean, wow. Look, I'm honest, I'm also a bit bored with those cape dresses as well. But this one, wow, wow, wow. It was stunning. It was the total picture, the color, the fabric, the hair, and then that particular tiara. Oh my goodness. Catherine looked more regal than any other royal there, and William and Catherine together looked like they stepped straight out of a fairy tale. Even William looked totally different. I noticed that slight slump around his shoulders was gone. He was standing more upright and looked so handsome. For just a second, it almost felt like Diana looked at him through my eyes, and I almost teared up. Look, I know there are so many things which has to change, but I think William will still achieve many good and great things with or without the crown. At the moment, his work is being suppressed, and it gives Jobson and others the opportunity to talk to the media and speak about him being lazy, not doing as many appearances, blah, blah, blah. But while Charles is shaking hands and Camilla shuffling behind him, William is actually working. So with that said, let's congratulate William and Catherine on their appearances yesterday and move on a little. Maybe it is a good time to talk about some of the things William did this year. As far as the Duchy of Cornwall goes, I'm just going to give you a very brief overview of what William has done or what was done under his stewardship and what they achieved in the year 2024 and 2025. Now, William is focused on modernizing the duchy by reforming its strategy to increase social impact, particularly in housing and environmental initiatives. So he launched a pilot program in Nansleden. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but it is Nansleden, to use duchy land to help the homeless. And I know there was, I would say, rather huge argument between William and Charles about this in particular. But the land did go to the project, and we'll keep you updated on that as it progresses. Plans were confirmed to increase affordable housing, plus minus 200 more homes, with a focus on social rent. He also waived over £10,000 in annual rent for charities and community groups using Duchy land, such as lifeboat stations, community halls, etc. There was also an argument between William and his father about that. I'm leaking things I shouldn't really, but never mind. He also began to end some feudal restrictions on land ownership, like ground rent and lease extensions. And that was another argument between the two men. He also invested 2.8 million in environmental programs. He invested over 10 million pounds in community development projects. He completed numerous property improvement projects, like we talked about, I think it was yesterday. The Duchy also sold its stake in a biomethane plant in Poundbury. Hear me coughing in a hint way. But they sold it, as they said, due to the company's health and safety issues. Prince William and Catherine, or William or Catherine, have indeed been able to visit most of William's patronages at least once in the 2024-2025 book year. Here are a list of William's patronages. Homelessness, there is Centrepoint, The Passage, and the Royal Foundation's Homewards Initiative. Mental health, there's the Anna Freud National Centre for Children and Families, Best Beginnings, Calm, Contact, Mind, Place to Be, The Mix, and Young Minds. As far as conservation goes, there's the Tusk Trust and United for Wildlife. Sport and Culture, the Football Association, British Academy of Film, Television and Art, which is the BAFTAs, the Welsh Rugby Union, Swim England. Emergency and Military, Wales Air Ambulance, London's Air Ambulance Charity, Mountain Rescue England and Wales, and Skill Force. Then we should also remember that William founded the Earthshot Prize, and although it has now become an independent entity, William is still hands-on and very much involved, and the same applies to Heads Together. William also attends numerous meetings with regards to monarchy business. He meets with dignitaries and had a meeting or 3 with the Prime Minister. Now, I don't know whether he was standing in for his father or whether it was business with the Prime Minister which he conducted himself. I'm not sure. I have a feeling it was probably standing in for his father. He also spent a week in Brazil. Now, William has learned a lot of lessons from his grandmother, but he is far more observant and ground level involved than even she was. Like when he heard about the conditions around the Mousehole Football Club, a non-league football club in Cornwall, when he heard about the pothole-ridden access, he personally stepped in and created a consortium of businesses to provide expertise, and over the summer a new road was constructed with no cost to the club. William opened the new road in November. William, when on ground level, does not have that upper class air, that wall between himself and the public. I am truly, truly, truly hoping that William and Catherine will get the opportunity to show what they can do. I think we do need to understand that the Queen reigned for 70 years and his father was the active Duke of Cornwall for 50 plus years. Yet we now seemingly expect William to fix or change everything in 3 years. It is impossible. For instance, he is busy abolishing those leaseholds in Cornwall, and already people are shouting, "What about us?" Of course, don't allow them to forget about you, but also be patient. It all requires some paperwork. Some people need a bit of time as they do not have the transfer fees immediately. It is said that it will be done in phases, so please just make sure that you are on top of it, okay? Okay, so let's just quickly mention the two losers on the other side of the pond. You know, I look at Meghan and I can't help but laugh. I mean, how stupid and common. Nothing else can possibly describe her. She wants all the designer gowns, the jewelry, the limelight. Yet she ditched the monarchy and ran before she even attended a state banquet. Shame. I think the royal family are only too grateful, because I don't know about you, but I still cannot watch Meghan eat. To see her take those huge forkfuls or spoonfuls and then mauling the food with bulging cheeks is more than I can bear. I mean, really, why? Isn't it common sense and basic decency not to do that? And why does she stick her tongue out before she takes a mouthful? I'm telling you, with her wonky eye and tongue flitting in and out of her mouth, she looks like a snake. I did not watch the holiday special. I watched a few clips and I watched Dan Witten. That was even more than I could handle. Meghan is supposed to be making these programs for adults, but she would have been better off making the same content for children. Seriously, I bought some stuff, collected toilet rolls, and my kids made Christmas crackers for us and their friends or their class. I mean, really? I think Meghan is so done on Netflix, or then they would be stupid to take her on again. Honestly, old Ted Sarandos can go get some pleasure and honours elsewhere, or be responsible for huge losses for Netflix. I hear more and more of people who feel like me and just cannot stomach watching her or listening to her anymore. We had a literal overdose of Meghan Markle. I mean, goodness, she is like a dog with rabies. All that is missing is for her to start foaming at the mouth. I fully believe Meghan is quite mad, and I'm not joking. There is a night and day change between who she is now and who she was 20 years ago. Yes, she had problems. Yes, she was entitled and spoiled. But what she is now is quite deranged. And we must remember that her father, for instance, still remembers her as a child and then as a 19, 20-year-old. But the women we see now have serious mental health issues. I believe she will explode one day and that she can be dangerous. Anyway, I understand exactly 100% where Meghan's brother Tom is coming from. It is horrible to see a loved one fade away, and it is even worse when you yourself is no longer a spring chicken and you are duty bound to stay with that parent. My brother was in that position, exactly like Tom Jr. In our case, my sister and I have been willing to help for years, but my mother did not want us to. She wanted to stay near my brother. So all we could do was help with money. In my case, my mother rejected me, and not the other way around like in Meghan's case. But regardless, I still sent 1,000 rand per month either to my sister to pay accounts or directly to my mother or brother for food, medicine, slippers, petrol. I thus feel that if Meghan, under the current circumstances, still cannot bring herself so far as to go see her father, then at least help your brother to take care of him. Just because they are in a serious condition in hospital does not mean that they do not have needs anymore. They still need a toothbrush, deodorant, a face cloth, shaving paraphernalia. It still costs Tom to get to the hospital and back. Goodness, where is her decency and common sense? And you know what? There are no excuses. Harry can fly to Canada to go talk shit. Why can't he fly to the Philippines and go shake Tom Jr.'s hand and sit with Tom Sr. for 5 minutes and tell his assistant to transfer, say, 10,000 US dollars to Tom Jr.? It will mean so much. And the optics will be so great for Harry. Honestly, I cannot think of anything right now which will make Harry look better than that. And that old billionaire who could not stop talking at the banquet last night. I mean, here is a true case of true empathy and humanitarianism. So why don't you, King Charlie, lift the phone and speak a few words to one of the Toms and send some money? Geez, you won't miss £1,000. You won't even notice that it's gone. I mean, honestly, they will run to help the poor Ukrainians, the poor Muslims. But when one of their own, so to speak, is in trouble, it is silence. Deadly silence. As for Meghan, her place in hell has been booked for her for a few years already. So don't even worry about her. She's done. I hope she's blocked from her father's funeral one day, and I hope no one gives her a minute in the press to fake mourn his death. And I mean, what more can one say? I just hope that Thomas Markle Sr. is at peace and that he has no pain. As for Junior, cut him some slack, guys. He is scared and frustrated and sad. Imagine being in a foreign country, no friends or family around, and having to cope with this on your own. Meghan Markle is responsible for her own demise. She said the other day after the Turkey debacle that she felt like giving up, that the palace and the press are stirring things up around her and against her and blah, blah, blah. No, Meghan, we don't like you because you are a horrible person. As for Harry, oh, what a disaster. Only 150 out of the 500 tickets were sold for his Canada gig. Embarrassing. I heard he threw quite the tantrum afterwards. Oh well, he chose that path. Before he can be successful in anything, he will have to, number one, get clean. And I hope this is a lesson to many. Dr. Gabor Mate, or whatever his name is, who advocates for mushrooms and ayahuasca under controlled circumstances, is nothing but a drug pusher. It is bullshit. They know full well that it does not stay there, and that people start self-medicating and end up addicted. Harry is such a case. Every time he opens his mouth now, he sounds more and more like an idiot. And his laugh sounds like that of a mentally deficient person who belongs in a home for the mentally handicapped. Guys, I have to go. There's a lot more to talk about, and we will get there, I promise. So take care until we meet again on the next one. Bye.